Hi guys, like today let's see the topic on content fragment model. So basically let's understand why do we need the content fragment models. So like as we know experience fragments, similarly we have the content fragments. Basically experience fragments deals with set of set of content that we will store the content as well as we deal with styling also. Like, but when it comes to the content fragments, we only concentrate upon arrangement of the content and structuring or arrangement of the content. But when we want to create the content fragment, we actually need to define the model of the content fragment, like how exactly, what sort of data or what type of data that we want to store and how do we want to store that we have to define our model before actually authoring our content fragment. So for creating that content fragment in AEM 6.5, we have this content fragment model in this tool section. When we come to the here down, so we have this content fragment models. So let's take an example of weekend project that they have created as a part of their project. So they have created a weekend shared folder in which they have created 3 different content fragments. Okay. So before coming into this content fragment models, let's see what they have kept in documentation. So what they are saying, content fragment models, to use content fragment models, you need to enable the content fragment model functionality for your instance. We have to create we have to create first the content fragment and then configure it, and then you have to enable it to make it use by the assets on which we want to uh, retrieve the content upon. So the first thing first is we need to create our model first. So for the model, you have to create model name, content fragment model name, as well as the description that what you gonna do with that model that you have to create. Once that is done, post creation, you have to open that. I mean, you have to edit it, that model, so that you can add lot of fields in which you want to author that model for. So we have different types of data types on which we can store that content fragment for, like on which type of content that we can that we want to store it for. Like we have different types of data, like we have single line text, multi-line text, and then number, boolean, date and time, enum, tags, content reference, fragment reference, JSON object, and tab placeholder. So let's see one by one what exactly it means as. So as you see, so the text field is simple as it is. Like you have to mention how it has to be rendered, and then field label name, and then property name, and how exactly property name in the sense how exactly you want to store it in the JCR. So the placeholder is something which it is comes up when you are actually authoring that field. So what exactly the text you want to edit here, that you will mention it in the placeholder. So likewise, you have certain constraints that you can use it for to put some constraints on the type of data that you want to author. So we are making it as a required, and max length we kept it as 255, and we're making it as unique, and means duplicate values it won't accept. So the next thing is validation type. So if there is any unique regex expression that we want to keep, like in the sense certain type of pattern text only, if you want to accept on that field, that we can define it over here. So this is as simple as a normal text field. So likewise, we have multi-line text wherein rich text or plain text we can store, and then numerical fields we can add there. Boolean is something where we can want to check true or false sort of data. Date and time. So enum is something on unstructured or kind of uh, mm, multi-value data, like from if we want to choose a thing, choose a single item from couple of random things. So then you have to go for enum, like checkbox, radio button, drop down, all of it we can use it in enum. Then we have tags. We are allowing the fragment authors to access and select the area of tags. We can add the tags also on the top of content fragment. So basically the content reference and fragment reference are two similar sort of names, but different. We use it for different purpose. Like the content reference, we use it if we want to store, if we want to store some nested content onto the content fragment. So if you want to refer an image, or if you want to refer an video or anything like thumbnail, anything, we can use the content reference rather than using the path field or anything. So we are going with content reference. So this fragment reference is something we want to refer a fragment in another content fragment model. So then we go for this fragment reference. So if you see here, we can refer the fragment directly, edit the fragment reference and fragment directly, create a new content fragment based on appropriate model. So other thing is we have JSON object and the tab placeholder. So if we want to store some JSON file data, or if we want to pass the JSON and output as JSON in GraphQL, we use this JSON object. So this tab placeholder is something, each instance represents the start of a new tab. So every time it opens a new tab. So that's about it. So here the documentation is well, like you can refer to this documentation when you have any queries on the model creation part. So once we are done with modeling, what we have to do is we have to select the model and then we have to enable it to make it, populate that field values on field 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 values on the assets or sites where we want to author the content, where we want to author those content fragments. So we can enable or disable it. Post enabling, we can publish and unpublish it likewise. Then so we have to allow this on content, allowing this content fragments on your assets folder. Only then we'll be able to author them. Like you have to do, going to the folder properties, pulse is, have to make it allowed content fragment models on this path. So then only you'll be able to author them. Then we have various other actions as well: deleting, publishing, unpublishing, and then we have basic properties of content models also, like this, 4 things: publishing and unpublishing. So let's see one by one what they did in this weekend project. This is an article model they've created. Let's see and let's edit it and see what they're doing. So they have taken a text field upon which they have created a title name, and the property name is title, and value they haven't given. So the translatable thing they have given, cloud configuration, which is, so max length they have configured. So then they have created another single line text with slug. Placeholder they kept, required unique. So they have created a custom validation type. So if you see here, email URL custom. So they have created a custom validation type in which they are giving some regex. So it has to start with small a to z or 0 to 9, and then now they have given a number from 5 to 40 ending with. So the custom error message they are saying slug must be at least of 5-character length, lowercase, special characters that can be used or dash and underscore, and so they have created a custom error message, and then custom validation regular expression, and then description they have created. So then they have used the content reference as well as fragment reference also. Let's see how they are using. So the featured image they have created, and then property name also featured image, and then the root path they are giving. Why they are giving the root path? In order to select the image from that prescribed path from here. Like from here they can choose one of the asset. So they have given the root path and they are accepting only the image type only. So not video or not any other content type. So they have given that, they configured that. The next thing is a fragment reference in which they are only accepting which is a fragment reference. Author field label is author, property name is author fragment, author. So they've given here also they are allowing the author type content fragment model only, not anything else, and they have given the root path also in which they can author this fragment reference. So this is how they did. Let's see author content fragment also how it's dealing. So this thing. So in this author content fragment, the basic properties they have defined. First name they've authored, and then last name single line text, and then content reference. So they're only allowing this image type, and then root path also they've given required, and then birthday as a date and time field, biography as multi-line text, and then occupations they've given this key value pairs, certain key value pairs in which we can select. So here we have an option like this is an enum, right? So we have checkboxes, radio buttons, and drop down options. We can select one from them based on our requirement. So that's how they have mostly utilized all sort of fields. So this they have enclosed as a reference in this article content fragment. So post authoring these two, post adding those two post adding all the fields, required fields in both of the fragments, we have to enable them. So since it's already enabled, likewise we have to enable them. Post that, what we need to do is we have to go to this reference and see like where exactly this is getting referred. So it's been referred in 7 different things. If you go to here, so in this magazine or so here they have authored all these content fragments. Let's see one by one. 7 times they have authored it. Let's see where and all they are authoring that. You can see the JSON thing also here. So as you see, we see here all of these are content fragments. This is a content fragment. So what they're doing with this thing is, so this is getting referred in these three sites. So if we go there, what happens is this content reference has direct placement on the site. Let's see how they're putting it up. See, so we have this content fragments on this site, as you see. It's a lot of text and images are there, so they have been using this content fragment. So this is how they use the content fragment. So first, now let's see, since we saw like the uses of the content fragment, let's see how they are using, how they are authoring the content fragment. Okay. So this is article content fragment. As you see here, the name of the content fragment. So the title they have given here. Let's see if it is there or not. See. So the title has been given. So they've directly taken this title. So from here, let's see how they have embedded it here. Okay, this is just a structure. So this whole content coming from there, from here. Ocean JP's image has also been coming. I think images root. So this whole content is coming from there. Okay. So let's close this and see. Okay. So this whole thing has been coming from the content fragment, and in between fragment grids. So they have created this fragment grids upon which they are authoring the different fields from the content fragment. Okay. This fragment grid. Okay. Fragment grids they are using to author some of the